players.
I used to watch quite a bit of Puff Dittos at the lab when Dawson would play Cascade like every week.
Dawson Cascade.
It's been a number of years since that was the era in Philadelphia. In fact, I haven't seen Cascade at a tournament.
Cascade was a fascinating player.
Yes. With, honestly, an insane list of wins.
Yeah.
Like, I remember he beat Juicebox and Zamu at that same tournament.
Not surprised.
Those are really good players.
Cascade is one of those, like, enigma-like players where you can't quite describe, like, the level of why the level of success is there. But I've known a few in my time that just show up and they're like, guess I'm playing. I don't know.
It's funny because it's not really my theory, but it's like a theory of how people choose to approach game, right? You have people who are minimizers who generally try to minimize their weaknesses, right? Try and work on the things that they're worst at. Or you have maximizers.
Cascade's a maximizer.
Cascade is the quintessential maximizer, right? Like I don't think anybody did it better than him. Maybe Wizrobe, but like it's a short list of people who are better maximizers than Cascade.
Yeah, that is true. Cascade made it hurt. I once switched to Marth because I used to play both Fox and Marth, but there was a time when I was just becoming a Marth main. Oh, I think they're starting the set.
Okay.
Enough about me.
Marth Puff.
Oh, true. And I was segueing to Marth Puff. No, not really. A piece of advice that I received from one of my old Smash senseis in matchups like this, and in several matchups, is if the Puff is playing a slow, methodical style, don't try to win, focus on not getting hit, and you might win accidentally along the way.
That's true.
Yeah. It's fine if it goes to time. You do more damage than they do, generally speaking. It's okay.
And Marth, we were saying earlier, is one of the characters that's most equipped to catch landings.
Oh,
of any characters in the cast, right? And
Yeah.
the quintessential way to defeat Puff is to catch her landings, right? Because once she's expended her first few jumps, her drift becomes much more predictable. So.
Yeah, you get less upward mobility too. Each jump is a little bit less and a little bit less. Okay, so very important error showing the throw follow-ups earlier on. Also the platform movement. Both of those things have been crucial to many a Marth's success in this matchup. There's the drill again. The Dawson drill.
Oh, nasty shield poke.
Wow. Outspaces the fair and comes in with a grab?
Those are the kinds of things that, like when I say that Dawson looks like he's somebody who made another character in a Puff player's body, like,
would have done that.
Yeah, the knowledge of those mix-ups, not to like stereotype at all, but it's not something you normally see from a Puff player.
Yeah.
Normally something you'd see for somebody who plays Marth, Sheik, so very cool to see that from Dawson. Leads to a very unique style of Puff, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just the character doesn't usually attract that player archetype.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice movement from Error.
Yeah, you've got to have it. Error, by the way, coming off of that ridiculous set versus Mott Money.
Oh, yeah.
That's a mental struggle, win or lose that set. So
it's actually been a while since Error played, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Like, it's been like half an hour at least?
I think it's been more than that.
Okay.
I would guess a lot more than that.
Oh? Went for the double dunk.
Okay, I like the fall through platform fair. The tough thing about this matchup sometimes for Marth is if you're not getting those like little grab follow-ups and stuff, you don't really have a tactical way to confirm an early kill. This is another one of those matchups. Error's been caught in a few of them today where the Marthritis sure can be real.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're reading like, and you know, even like the floaty killer of old, the side, the first hit.
Needles.
The what's it?
The 1,000 Needles.
The 1,000 Needles?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard it called that before.
Yeah, that's because I think Cactuar invented it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they call it 1,000 Needles.
Because it's the Cactuar thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm happy to know that extra piece. Even that doesn't work as well as it used to with the advent of like ASDI all the time and that sort of thing. Especially if if a Puff sees one side B miss, then they're aware all of a sudden of what you're trying to do.
Oh, beautiful spacing on that downer to make the shield grab whiff, and then punish with an instant quick down throw forward smash. But it doesn't matter. That's just the end of the game.
Yeah, that game was toast early on. Just a huge advantage for Dawson at the beginning, and it led to a game. Error's fought from behind in these sets so much.
Yes.
It has been a tough, it feels like a tough tournament for Error. Better him than me.
Yeah. Admittedly, some players, like, oh,
Fair rest.
wow, shout out to the Firepuff 12. I'm just kidding, that's the king.
The king, that's right.
Admittedly, if you're one of those players that's like, makes adaptations later into the set, I think it becomes much harder to make like real deep bracket runs. You know what I mean? Because you end up having to do that over and over and over
True.
and over again, and you're just so exhausted by the time you get to something like a grand finals.
You're juiced, yeah.
So I'll be interested to see if Era can keep it up.
Yeah, the movement's been good from Air. It really does just feel like the kills don't come that easily. And I remember I was a big fan of watching Phil streams back in the day, like the film sessions and stuff. I remember there was a discussion when it was a pretty small amount of people in the chat room. Like, he was like, I don't think Marth's that good. Until they can kill floaties consistently, I don't see it. And like some of the top Marths have shown the ability to do that, but that is really what makes this matchup possible.
Yes.
Is you have to be able to find those specific early kill confirms.
Truthfully, like, it's weird because the consensus for a long time was that, okay, Marth can't really grab in this matchup, right? And that's one of the things that makes him so good against so many other characters. Then
Oh, I like that.
With Zane getting better against
Yeah.
Hungry Box, kind of the advent of the addition of the dash grab, being able to grab the crouching puff,
That was big too.
kind of negated that altogether. And like, I see Zane land so many grabs in this matchup now, relative to what the rhetoric used to be. And I'm not really seeing too many grabs landed yet from Error in that same way.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily need to copy the like Zane game plan for verbatim.
No.
But the finishing the stocks is something that I think has been developed, and you need to sort of follow that part of the game plan. The early game, I can understand where you might be more comfortable, you might be more consistent with, you know, spacing out fares, maybe getting a lot of the times when the puffs are staying low like that, I actually think even I never like to suggest approaching air because new Marth's approaching air too much already as it is.
Yeah.
But even representing that as an option, you can get a lot of like spare damage until you get them up to that 60, 70, 80, 90, and then you can start going for those grabs like what Error just did. Or, you know, your side B or whatnot. Man, the Dawson Classic, he loves that drill. You were right.
That's what I was saying, man.
Dawson loves the drill at high percent. I guess maybe you try to trade with it with up tilt or something? Is that the...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just really solid. Was that not 2-0 for Dawson?
It definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, and I think part of the trick with those drills is it's not just that Dawson starts drilling, but Dawson suddenly, like Dawson spends most of the stock in my mental picture, like sort of far away outside of that range that someone wants to hit you at, and then just like sort of peppering it. And then as soon as you get to that high percent, you're like running shields and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's in your space, and then there's just a drill floating over you. And you're not ready for Dawson to finally approach you. And it's not approaching with moves either.
Yeah.
It's just like coming near you.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, not quite able to get the very finish, but still all that damage is useful into the up air. Up smash, pardon me.
You are extremely happy with a 93% kill off a down air up smash.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Error.
And I mean, the punish was huge. It started at like 30 or something. Okay, able to get to the ledge. Nice sweet spot.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Air does do that rising down air a lot. We've actually seen it a couple times in the top 8 where the down air doesn't pay off and ends up getting punished. Sometimes just getting back to the stage might be the move.
Yeah, new puffs, if you're watching this, I guess just spam down air at kill percents.
It seems really good.
Yeah,
if you can
like
actually L cancel up smash or whatever.
Oh, the worst DI.
Yes.
That
yeah.
killed at 72%. It was awful.
Yeah, it was like DI down.
Yeah. Okay, there's a little approaching there you were talking about. Keep Puff honest on the ground.
Yeah, only when they're playing grounded. I don't recommend it if they're jumping up a lot.
Yeah.
But
I think a roll there would have finished Marth off.
okay, this is good damage for Error.
Yeah.
Looking good in game 3.
Really controlling the ground well.
Okay, yep, wave dash back. I like not getting over aggressive, especially when you're up.
Oh, a little overzealous there.
Dawson with the drill at high percent. Oh, I've seen this movie before. Doesn't end well for the Marth.
Yeah.
Does not end well for Dawson's opponent.
Dawson's got like the, I don't know.
Ever since you pointed out, I've never seen, I mean, I've seen Puffs do that. I don't know if I've ever seen it as much.
No, I mean, it's just.
Dawson like just drills at
It's
high
like
percent.
clockwork, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's really good. I mean, it's a hard move to like avoid and punish, especially when you're already in shield.
Yeah.
You know?
No, Dawson suddenly like jumps in there with shield or something, and then there's just a drill all over
Yep.
you, and the shield poke's at worst.
Mm-hmm.
The shield poke still leads to up smash or something.
Okay. I like how Error is like a little bit more fluid with the stage control. Like willing to relinquish literally being in the center of the stage a little bit, but still, like you said, using the stage as a resource.
Yeah. And on FD, it's especially good to do that because you can give quite a bit of stage and still not be, effectively cornered, quote unquote. Where if you get knocked off, if you get hit, you're going to be knocked off the stage. Yep,
Nice.
that'll do it. Another pivot. So proficient with the pivot forward smash for sure.
Absolutely.
Which is important because it's not like Error's getting tons of them. So the ones that you do get, you've got to hit.
Mm-hmm. And the benefit of Marth is that between forward throw and down throw, it's like an unreactable mix-up. So you have to guess which one the Marth is going to go for and then DI for that. So that in the event that they choose the right one, right, it's a guaranteed pivot forward smash. Nice up air, 2 up airs.
Yeah, I mean, and Error did well last game because he was up in percent like the whole time and stocks for most of it. Was able to just get a little bit of damage at a time. When Error has needed to get these big punishes to catch up, it has not looked very good. So I think it's very important for Error to get something started on this first stock. I mean, that's always important, but I think more so than usual.
Yeah, and admittedly, now that I think about it, Error had to cut his teeth on this matchup for so many years when Miffy was an active player in South Jersey. I mean, they played each other in like every grand finals. So definitely some of the experience in terms of like the micro game, just having the punish game on lock and all that stuff is coming to show today.
Yeah, I think every like hitbox tournament I was at, they played each other. If I remember right. Yeah, they played all the time.
Downer.
Oh, yeah, that movement was nice, huh?
Slick.
As Error a lot of the times has been attacking right away, like would have back aired on the way down. That time leaving it empty and going for the up tilt I think is really smart, especially considering the word you have to look at.
Yeah, and ultimately like a much higher value move to hit, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the back air is basically worthless compared to the up tilt especially.
Nice. Get away from my ledge.
Error been using the fair in more clever ways because the movement's been good the whole time, but a lot of sort of like shield stop drift back or pivot fair even. Some of it's rising, sometimes it's falling. And it's important because you need to use your disjointed move to beat this character with extremely high aerial control. Once again, we're at high percent. What do we see? A bunch of drills. He gets in close. Yeah, get out of there. Yeah, man, Dawson boxes with you when you're at high percent.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's on you, which is cool to see because, like, especially when the thing that he's opting for is that down air. If you're like having to force your opponent to shield by just being on them, that the down air suddenly becomes so potent because you can just cross it up, shield poke, and then get your kill, right? So very cool to see him playing to his win condition in that way.
I guess he kind of got to do the fight fire with fire. It's just so hard to know when he's going to start exactly. Because if you know, you just hit him before he hits you. I know that sounds obvious.
Yes.
But like as in you move forward and swat him out of the air before the drill even gets started, before he can weave his way in and start shielding or whatever. As we're talking about the power of the Dawson drill, Dawson's actually up a full stock at this point, maybe up 2. Yeah, and he is.
Nice of him to delay that pound until he could ride the Dreamland wall, so he didn't save Error on the way up.
The scene in the player cam, because you can't see the whole story from the stream, is Error looks to the crowd, some disappointment. Joey Laces on his phone, look at that, not even watching the stream. Writing off the end of the game. Unfortunately, the last stock does not go the way he wants at all. And so Dawson will be moving on.